All right, give me a sec here. All right, here we go. So, oh, we're at 10:30. Ooh, didn't realize it went up that high in the last run. And yeah, I'm a little nasally, man. My allergies are kind of going crazy right now. But let's see what do we got. What we got? We got the Glock. We're good. We got the Rago. We're good. Um, everything looks pretty set up. We got some junk. That's just for the hell of it. Why not? Um, this is just to get some extra uh, rounds. How you doing? How you doing? How's everything going? Um, okay, so my bearings here, 254 rounds left. With that, what I could probably do, honestly. Oh, okay, we want that. I want that. We could probably throw this in a drawer. So I think 250 rounds is kind of a ways to to go with this. It gives us quite a bit of momentum here. Um, yeah, we could do the Trump. Okay, there we go. There we go. That's what we want. So we're gonna have to do the little dance here and put some things up. Oh, we can't. Never mind. Gotta do it right. Gotta do this right. Could put the button away, make things a lot easier, but I don't do things the easy way. And did I just screw up? Yeah, I just screwed up, didn't I? Yeah, I think I just screwed this up. All right, well, we can throw this away. All right, that'll trigger that, so that's fine. We just wasted a couple tickets. Do surgery. Knock these out. And let's see what we got. Junk. Absolute junk. Winner 3, have no reward. I mean, honestly, the way this is going, I could probably put that up. Just for the simple fact that it'll up him. He's at 30%. Just the test here, throw that up. Okay, he's at 40%. Not ideal. Not ideal at all. Not even close to being ideal. But it's not terrible either. The other thing I'd like to get is the coin, the ancient coin. This probably wouldn't be. Nah, yeah, we don't need that. Don't need luck at 10 on anything. We do need to pick this back up. Where is there's the button. There's the button. Put that in the drawer. Take that. Please tell me. Okay, yeah, we do have another drawer. And say it would suck having to get rid of something this early. In this little process here. What I want is you know what? And we could throw, if we get it, we could throw this back up. Oh, come on. Come on. I'm just screwing up. So here's what I want to do. I want to have this up. And I want, although I could throw the jar up too. I guess I could throw the jar. I want this. That's something I want. I also kind of want to get the jar up. So I think I'm going to get rid of this for now. Yeah, I think I'm going to get rid of that because all I'm looking at is turns here. I just want turns. Is the button still in here? Yeah, the button's still in here. So we can put the jar up. And I kind of want to have a couple rounds where everything just goes out of control wacky. Problem is I got too many things on the board, so I don't think Oh man, I kind of want to keep this because 40% is kind of nice to have. Even though it does absolutely nothing for me. This here is okay because it gives an extra spin once in a while, and it's usually at least 1 or 2 a turn. So I think that's worth keeping up. The jar is messy because the jar doesn't really do that much. In fact, it doesn't really do anything, to be honest with you, at this coin level right now. So I think the jar is probably gonna have to go in a drawer. And I don't want to have the clock out for this. I do want to have that out. So the idea here is just roll some massive rounds, and then this is going to get destroyed every round, which is then going to go in the Virago, which we're then going to pull this back out, and then re-roll the shop, get the Virago back up. This is very glitchy because when this gets dumped into the Virago, it also triggers resurrection here, which puts it back in the store, which you cannot buy because it'll be in the Virago. It's a mess. It's a mess. But for now, I think we're pretty decent here. I just want to make sure that we're not going to destroy this clock in some fashion. So let's see how well this does for me. Because now we're going for long rounds. We got 253 rounds, so I figure it's probably a good time to do that. Okay, so we got, yeah. I don't know why that thing triggered. That's weird. That clock, the ancient coin triggered without me hitting the button because it should only have 2 things, and it did trigger at the end of that round. That's not supposed to work that way. This thing is so busted. I've had it before, so it might just be a glitch that there's residual from the last time I had this up. Because it does get messed up in the shop with the Virago and the Resurrection at the same time. That's weird. That is very strange. That was very odd because, yeah, it's not supposed to work like that. Evening. So it's morning here, man. So you must be on the other side of the planet somewhere. I guess it's coming up. Oh, okay, Germany, yeah. Oh, that's right. Okay, I think we talked before. Yeah, you're Germany. There went the ancient coin. So the ancient coin should be in the Virago now. It only ran 6. I think but it doesn't matter because it broke, so that's not really saying much. Always wanted to visit Germany, bro. I always wanted to visit Germany. I know you guys are having a lot of problems over there right now, but hey, man. I'm in America, and we're having all kinds of problems. Not to get political. Not trying to get political. Just saying. Germany's one of those places. If I didn't have to get on an airplane for an ungodly amount of hours, I'd be there. I'd be there a lot. come here, then yeah, there's some problems, but honestly, still a pretty good place to live. To be honest, can't complain much. Well, I'd be visiting, not living, but yeah, I mean, I always thought I always liked Europe, man. Europe, you guys got history out there. We ain't got shit. We got like 250 years of history, man. You guys got medieval history. You guys got castles. Our castles are made of drywall. But yeah, I always thought hitting Germany would be one of the cool places to go. Like, I don't know, for some reason, and I don't even know why. Like France, Germany, those are places I always wanted to kind of visit. I always thought it'd be cool to go to London, check out London. Never really been a fan of Italy. I don't know why. Just for some reason, the architecture and stuff just doesn't really appeal to me. I know a lot of people love Italy, but yeah, and I'm part Italian actually, so I'm just not. I don't know. For some reason, Italy's never really struck a chord with me. Spain has never really been that big of a draw for me. Yeah, I don't know why Italy's just something about it, dude. It's just like I don't really find it all that interesting. Places like Slovakia, some of those areas, like I know a lot of people from Croatia who say it's beautiful out there, and I'm sure they're right, man. I'm sure there's a lot of places in this world that are amazing, but I never really thought Croatia was that interesting until the damn Game of Thrones show came out. And I would actually like to see the castle where that was filmed. I think that would be kind of cool. But otherwise, I have no interest in, any of that area whatsoever. I'd say, but I always thought when I was young, which was a long time ago, Russia always seemed like Moscow. Like Moscow always seemed like a cool city as far as the architecture goes and the weird, way that they built that place. I always thought that was kind of a cool looking city. But yeah, as an American, nah, I'm not going there anytime soon at all whatsoever. Why does it say? Oh, okay, no. All right. Let's reset here. Let's get rid of this. All right, there we go. So there's the coin. We need to put this in a drawer. We need to pull the Virago back out. And see, there's the coin. This coin is so glitchy. It's insane. And it's no longer on the table. It says I have 16 of 15, so it's correct that it's actually here, but it's like a phantom. It's not actually here. It's here. I guess since coin can't be in two places at once, it has it in the store due to resurrection. So there's an issue with the coin and resurrection. Anyway, but yeah, that's the coin's always been a problem to me. And see, it says I have one hit on the coin already. I don't understand that. How can I have the coin activated when I haven't even freaking decided how many spins I have? It just makes no sense. The coin is glitchy as hell. Now, if I could find a way to use that to my advantage, I'd be happy, but I can't. I haven't yet. I haven't thought about it that much. Oh, wait, did I just screw up? I did. Damn it. I'm not getting any money off this. But yeah, I always thought Europe was cool, man. Europe, you guys got a lot of history out there, a lot of cool stuff, man. I always thought seeing a lot of those medieval castles would be cool. We don't have those in America. I always thought that'd be neat. Of course, you got those all over Europe. So, I mean, and that's probably why I don't even know what they got in Italy as far as that stuff goes. What the hell, dude? Look at that. What just happened there? Like, what seriously just happened? Why does it say I have 15 spins left and then I have 17 spins left? What just happened? That coin is so glitchy. I don't even know what's going on here. So I had 17. 17 was correct. I got 19. What are we doing? What is this? What's happening here? Why is it giving me... It's upping my spins every... Why is it doing that? Plus 2 spins. Oh, the cat... Oh my god. So it's the 999s... Whoa. There are other things that is not considered a no reward spin. Oh, that's weird. Wow, that's strange. That's really strange. Yeah, I remember when I was young, man, they used to hand these things out at schools out here, and they used to have, the reason I say Russia, or, well, Moscow, not Russia necessarily, I care less about Russia, but Moscow, they used to hand these things out in school, and they used to talk about the punk rock kids that used to hang out in Gorky Park. And I remember at the time, I think there's a band, oh god, what was that band? The heavy metal band went over there and played a show, I think, over there in Gorky Park. And I remember just being a kid thinking that looks really fucking cool, man. Just a bunch of people hanging out at this big ass park, you know. And it was all like the punk rocker kind of kids. I was like, those are the cool kids in Russia, you know. Nowadays, I'm sure it's not the same, dude. Nothing's the same. Nothing's, I mean, that was a long ass time ago, so yeah, it is what it is. But, hell, man, I haven't even traveled across half of this damn United States, so I got plenty of places that I don't have to jump on a 32-hour flight or whatever craziness it is to get there. But Germany always seemed cool, man. Germany always seemed really cool to me. I've known a lot of people from Germany. I've had friends that actually moved to Germany, live out there. But they're always like the nicest people. Always the nicest people, man. It's really strange, man. I remember always being kind of surprised, like, how can someone be this nice? And I'll tell you this, part of California, or, well, I'm from California, but where I'm from out here, man, people aren't very nice. They're not very nice at all. You know, growing up out here, it was kind of crazy. And so when you see some dude from, you know, someplace else, you know, that has that accent. Oh, see, now the cat toy is not working anymore. Why is the cat toy not working anymore? So, dude, this is so weird. I don't understand what's going on here with this game. But, yeah, it was always a shock to me, man. It's always like, dude, these people, if everybody in Germany is that nice, dude, that is like utopia on Earth. Although I will say this, man, I had a guy who used to know a guy that was Turkish, who, I mean, was still a Turkish citizen at the time. I don't know, like the politics of that area or whatever. I know it's part of like what's going on in the world right now, but at the time, I don't know what was going on out there, but he had like mandatory military service and stuff like that. He went back and served, you know, and stuff like that. And I think, at least I think he did. Um, he was a bit older than me, but you know, at the time, he was a super nice dude. So I remember thinking, God, man, the Turks must be like super nice people, and you know. I said not to get political, but with what's going on now, it's like, yeah, not everybody, I guess, you know. But as a young, dumb, impressionable kid, I thought, and maybe I'm not, maybe I'm right, maybe I was right about it, maybe I was wrong, I don't know. But you know, back in the day, man, I remember just knowing a couple of dudes from Germany that was like, dude, these are the nicest people I've ever known, man. They're just amazing. And then, like I said, I'd love to see castles. Uh, oh, okay. So Turkish people are okay. Yeah, he was super cool, man. I mean, you know, it's just weird when you take somebody to transplant them into this environment. You know, because this environment is, at least, you know, we've had periods of time where this environment was extremely hostile out here and crazy. Um, you know, we went through the gang eras and all that sort of stuff where, you know, there's a lot of violence going on in the streets and stuff. It was just crazy. But you know, and a lot of that's calmed down to a point. But you know, and then all of a sudden you see this dude that's just the nice guy in the world, and you're just like, wow, dude, like wherever you came from, they're raising you people right, man. But yeah, the other thing is like Germany, like I said, I've always been kind of like, I always thought it'd be cool to go like tour castles and stuff like that, and just kind of see, you know, that side of the world, you know. And that's kind of why I like France. I always thought, you know, a lot of the French stuff, and I know French people are not very nice to Americans, but I always thought the French stuff was kind of interesting. Germany has a lot of castles, from what I understand. Um, it'd be cool to see Ireland, England. There's so many castles here. You're in luck. Yeah, unfortunately, it's a plane ride, man, and I don't really get on planes for much. I don't really care to get on planes. I don't know what it's like out there flying around. Oh, the thing's still in the shop, dude. Man. Oh no, there it is. And it's gone from there. Wow, I can still buy it for one though, dude. Look at that. What the? Wow, it was really going on here. This is so stupid. Okay, whatever. It's all good, man. I wish I knew a developer for this game, because I can tell them right now, like, yeah, what are you doing, bro? Gotta fix this. But yeah, and then you guys have a lot of oh, okay. You guys also have a lot of the World War II stuff, man. So I always thought it'd be cool to see like some of the battlefields from some of that stuff. And like, you know, that was another thing, like with Russia, the Volga River, you know, kind of get an idea of what it would have been like for those, you know, those poor sons of bitches trying to cross that shit during the Second World War, and you know, the Ardennes forest and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, that's stuff you don't see in America, right? You don't get to see stuff like that in America. The closest thing we got is the Alamo, you know. And I've never even been there, to be honest with you, because I just don't have much of an interest. From what I understand, the Alamo's tiny, and it's just a little ass fort in the middle of Texas. So I don't have a lot of. I'm not excited to go see it. But we don't have a lot of that. You know, we don't have a lot of that crazy ass history from way back. But castle's about as far as I want to go. You know, with stuff like that. Like, I never really cared to go to like see the Tigris Euphrates, which I think is in like Iraq, Iran area, something like that. I don't even know. I have no interest in going to like, you know, Israel or any of that stuff to see biblical stuff. I don't care about that sort of thing. It's just not my thing. But castles, hell yeah. Castles just seem really fucking cool to me. I think it'd be cool to go to the Louvre sometime. Maybe. In France, I think they got some museums out there that'd be really cool to go see. You know, and then like I said, Ireland would be cool. I mean, it'd be kind of neat to see Ireland, see the countryside of Ireland. Smallest castle, maybe an hour away from me. Average German experience. Yeah, I mean, like, oh man, castles just I don't know why it seems really cool. Like even like Romania, right? To go see, you know, some of the Vlad the Impaler stuff and some of those, you know, stuff they had going on. Yeah, stuff like that. Stuff like that is, to me, is just like crazy. I don't care about the pyramids. Never really. Yeah, that never really excited me. I don't know why. I think the Sphinx is really cool. That'd be cool to see. But as I watch like people actually tour over there, you know, it's just a bunch of scam artists standing around a monument. It's like, nah, not interested at all. And I don't want to have to. You know, I kind of live in a desert, somewhat. You know, I don't want to have to, go travel to a desert to go see something like that. It's not interesting to me. But yeah, Germany, like I said, Germany, France, England, Ireland, you know, that whole area right there, I think would be neat. Not really interested in like Switzerland, Sweden. Yeah, I just don't care about that. I just thought castles. Castles are cool just because, like, man, like just to see like where they built these things, you know, hillsides and all that weird stuff. You know how they built them to be defended, and it just be kind of cool to kind of get that idea of history of standing up on a castle somewhere and looking down and thinking, God, dude, they built this because, you know, they could see the invaders coming and, you know, for whatever, you know, purpose there was at the time, whether you talk about the Mongols invading or the Romans coming through there, all that sort of stuff, the Vikings. Just seemed really cool. Seems really cool to me, man. I think because I was always that was always the kind of literature I was into when I was young, when I used to read a lot. probably a little bit of that Dungeons and Dragons we were into as kids. But yeah, that and paired up with, like I said, I knew a guy. Whoops, like my mic's popping. I can hear myself popping. Sorry about that. Too close to my face. But that and the fact that I met some people from there, and they were super, super cool and nice. Yeah, it was. I mean, that's always been kind of one of those things. It's like, wow, that it seems like that's like utopia to me. You know what? I can just buy this, can I? Yeah, I can buy that. Okay, well, we'll just do that. So we don't have to use this, right? Is it still in there? Yeah, it's still in there too. So stupid. Oh, this game is broken. Game is so broken. That's not to say I don't love where I'm at. I love where I live, man. I think I'm truly blessed to be, in America, in California, in a state that's got really nice weather most of the time. Yeah, it's definitely a blessing to be out here. But just the historical significance of some of the European stuff is just amazing. And again, we all have our problems, I mean, I think politics has a way of fucking everything up in some form or fashion. But so I think every place has its issues. It's weird because that cat thing is no longer considering this as a. That's why it's confusing, man, because it's not giving me turns anymore. It was consecutive turns, though, wasn't it? I think it was consecutive turns. That's probably what's going on here. It might have been 3 consecutive turns with no. Yeah, I'd like to say that if I, let's see, 3 can, yeah, 3 can, okay, that's why it's not triggering. Okay, because I'm only getting 2 hits on the phone. I will say this, man, you kind of, and I think it's human nature to take for granted what you got around you, and I live pretty close to some cool shit, and I don't spend a lot of time dealing with, what tourists come here to see. And it's like, we have all kinds of stuff going on locally and stuff, but, I don't spend a lot of time dealing with that stuff. And so I think I definitely take for granted what I got around me, but it is what it is, man. But I'd like to say, man, if I were in, where you're at, I'd be touring castles all the time. But I'm like, in reality, probably not. And I know, I know the way I am. I'm trying to copy or run as best I can since I'm still missing some items and listening to you when you explain stuff, but it's so difficult. Laugh out loud. This run's not. It wasn't easy to set up, to be honest with you. It wasn't difficult either, I would say. It's just one of those things where I think I failed a couple times before I finally got it to the point where I wanted it. I'll show you in a minute here, kind of how I did it. I wish you could save your game and then start a new game and play a game side by side, but you can't. If this had some functionality like that, I'd just start a new game and show you, you know, and just do it over again. I mean, you could always probably. I wouldn't recommend this, but I mean, I do stream this. I leave this on YouTube as well. So these videos are on YouTube. The problem is like you're gonna go back and there's hours and hours and hours of this on YouTube. And I'm only doing that so that it saves it on YouTube. And I want it saved so that I can like clip this up, cut it up, and then just make clips if I want to. And I haven't done it yet, but you know, it's one of those things that in the future I may want to do. So I'm putting it on YouTube just because YouTube will save it and store it basically. So, you know, basically when you start a run, what I did, and I don't think I did it right. Like, I think there's a lot of things that could have improved. I think getting the symbol multiplier to stupid levels was pointless, absolutely pointless, completely pointless. Um, you know, just the pattern multiplier, the symbol multiplier, I think that was completely pointless. Uh, the above and below, getting that to 300 was probably pointless as well, although it did give me a little bit of a boost because it's easy to get up. This is really easy to get up. Um, but it does give you a little bit of a boost to your when you start actually trying to get score, right? So it starts you off at these are E300. I think when I started just giving up on trying to up the pattern multiplier and the symbol multiplier, which, like I said, was probably pointless. Like I said, I could have played this probably better than I did, but whatever. Just that's min maxing. I'm just playing. Um, but the above and below is easy to get up with the Baphomet. It's really easy to get up and with the Baphomet and the phone. Um, it's ridiculous. Um, okay, so there's the Baphomet. And so you just score 666s and it doubles and everything to me. The way I see things is like I want things that are permanent and I want things that double. I don't care too much about raising something by its, natural rate or whatever. So I don't care about that. I want everything to double because then it just shoots up super fast. Everything shoots up super fast. So double's what I care about. So Baphomet is how I got the above and below up there. But you don't have to necessarily do that. So start a game off. Your main goal is this. Well, my main goal was this right here. Um, I was like, I'm gonna do an apocalypse run, and I'm gonna make it stupid easy to get the second run started. So I ran an apocalypse run, which means I would get the Baphomet super early. Thing is, Baphomet, you do the Baphomet when you have the phone. And you're doing the Baphomet with the phone, and you're doing the phone multiple times. The other thing I would do differently is, and I don't know if you were the one that told me this or somebody else told me this, but this would probably make it a lot easier um, to do this. I would think. I think you're gonna have a really hard start with it, but I think once you get a round going with this is gonna help you a lot. Because phone abilities trigger one more time. I not positive, but I'm guessing that's going to give you more trinkets, right? So right now I can only have 16. I put this in the drawer. I have 16. I have a total of 16. You could probably get that up to 17 if you do what's called first love. Yeah, first love. And again, you might have been the one to tell me this, and I thought about it. I'm like, dude, yeah, that's probably a better system for this. The reason I did what I did and the way I did it was I had an idea when I started this run, and I completely went off script. Um, oh, okay, you were okay. Well, I'll give you credit for it anyway. Um, but I completely went off the script of what I originally intended for this run here. This is the card I took. Usually I take this one, Screen Addiction, because it gives you 21 spins, which is insane. So you get 21 spins every time you roll the handle, which then all you have to do is worry about getting the weird clock, getting a bunch of rounds, and just having 21 spins like crazy. Um, but I'll be honest with you, I did a round with that at the beginning of the year. Um, and because I remember I started it, I believe, on New Year's. And when you do that, and you do that with the jar, it becomes problematic. Um, because I've had it to where it would do like 26, 28 jackpots a round towards the end of the round, because you're just hitting that, and I do it with clovers. I'd run clovers and bells so that I could get the battery symbol without having to use this guy to get, hope that he gives you the batteries each time. Um, but it gets insane, dude. When you have 28 jackpots hitting, and that's just the jackpots, right? So like that's not even the three symbols and the four symbols and the above, the below. All those got to hit 28 fucking times or whatever it is, because the jackpots, of course, goes jackpot, super jackpot, ultimate jackpot times one, times two, times three, times four, and it just goes up. But you have to like, I would sit there with this round and it would frustrate the hell out of me, because I would sit there and I'd roll it. It's automatic jackpot, once you get these symbols up high enough, you got pretty much an auto jackpot. And I didn't even know about some of the stuff that I'm doing now. So, this has evolved, but bro, like it's bad. It's really bad. It's horrible, because I would walk away, go use the restroom, I come back and the damn thing's still like doing jackpot, jackpot 15, jackpot 16, jackpot 17. And you're like, "Oh my god." And then you go get yourself something to drink, come back, and it's finally finished. And it's like, dude, and then you got to roll it again. And you're like, oh, here we go again, dude. Okay. And then you walk away and again for another, 5, 6 minutes or whatever it happens to be. Every round would be like that. And it got annoying. It got really obnoxious. So I decided I'm going to do this one instead. I'm going to do the exact opposite, where it only has one spin. And like I said, the reason I did the one spin was because I had the bullet train. I was using the bullet train, and the bullet train is how I got. Whoops, there it is. The bullet train was how I got my pattern multiplier, symbol multiplier up through the roof. The original idea with this run is I was going to try and break the game again, because I broke the game once already. I wanted to try and break it again, and I was going to get this pattern multiplier and symbol multiplier up to the point where it broke the game, because I don't know if it's even possible with those. If you get this above and below up to E308, and I believe it's 1.2 E308, it freezes the game every single time you roll an above or below. So you don't want it to happen anymore. So it screws you up. So every time you get jackpot, anything like that, your game just freezes. And it freezes up and it resets the game. It keeps you at the same place. So like if I rolled one of those right now, it would come back. It would freeze the game up when it rolled this above and below, and then it would say saving your progress, and then it would start the game over again. You start from the start screen, you load back in, and this would say 250 rounds, and you'd lose that round. Um, and that's how that works. So that was super frustrating, because that's basically just game breaking. That just destroys your game. So you don't want to get these up to E308, you know. So that's why I left them at E300, and I got rid of the Baphomet at that point. Um, but that's how that works. So I was thinking with this run, I was thinking pattern multiplier, symbol multiplier. I wonder if I can get those to E308 and see if that breaks the game. That was the original idea, and then I started, as I was doing it, I thought, you know what? I'm just going to play through the game, and I'm going to see how much score I can get. Because it started to get to the point where I'm like, dude, I'm making pretty good score here. I'm going to see how far it goes. I saw a guy yesterday on Twitch who was at E 3003, or no, 33,000. So that score goes really freaking high. So I got a long ways to go on this. to catch up to that. So I don't think the coins. I don't know if they have a breaking point. Somebody told me they did, but I don't know if they do. I'm not on like a lot of Reddits and stuff like that, so I don't really don't know. But anyway, starting the game off, what I would do is just get through the first round, but aim for this, aim for the apocalypse. Now, the apocalypse is rough because you have to get um, the cross, the Ankh, the evil deal, and the weird clock with the corpse part, which means you're not going for the full corpse set up here. In fact, you're not going for any of this. You're gonna leave all these off. Like I didn't even. I don't think. Now I could be wrong, but I don't think on that first run here with this, because obviously the apocalypse resets your run completely. So once you get the apocalypse, none of it matters. Your run's reset. So you don't have to worry about the red phone calls or any of that sort of stuff. You're not going to finish the game. You're gonna get this and it's gonna restart the game for you. So basically, don't collect any of these bones. Don't put any of these bones on the table. Leave them in your drawers and let them rot. Whatever. And the first thing I would go for is the phone as quick as possible. Once you can get yourself stabilized, because obviously you're going to need things like, usually this is one of the things I use to get stabilized in the early rounds because it gives you an extra spin. Then it's luck +4. And that's if you're running a normal card. The card I'm running, the biggest thing you can get is the cat food, obviously, because 2 extra spins. Or one of the really good things is that ancient coin, which is not even on my table. It got taken out. Did it get taken out? Yeah, it got taken off my table. What the fuck? Okay. So put that away. Ancient coin. This is one of my favorites, man. Starting off the game, is to hit this thing because it gives luck of 7. Luck of 7 is pretty awesome. Like luck of 7 automatically gets you, at least a 3 pattern, usually a 4, and that'll usually get you through the first couple rounds pretty easily. And then you want the phone. You want the phone because you want to get. Let me do this real quick before I forget. Oh, I lost my Virago. Okay, well, we're gonna have to work on getting that back. But oh, there's that thing. All right, hold on a sec. Hold that thought. Okay, there we go. All right, so we need these in drawers. Okay, let's put oops. Put this back up. Yeah, because I don't have Virago, right? Yeah, I don't. Man, see, it's glitchy. That coin gets really glitchy. Let's do the surgery on this just to get this out of the way. And see what it gave us. There it is. Holy shit. So that was the last piece that I needed to make this stupid. To make this really stupid. Because things are about to get really asinine stupid. Yeah, dude, things are just gonna go off the rails at this point. Oh my god. Oh, so all lucky charms triggered by the red button trigger one more time. Chance triggering charms more often when one more time whenever they're triggered by the red button. Along with this, there's 50% chance of red button not consuming charges when triggered. And then combining it with this, give you one more shot at the red button. That means every time you hit this, every time you hit the button, everything's going to go up. It's going to hit for 4 times. So you're going to have 4 phones every time with the possibility of having an extra one. So it's automatic 4 every time you hit the button with the possibility of it being 5. That is just ridiculous. That's insane. That's complete insanity. Anyway, so back to what we're talking about. So like I said, when I start around, worry about getting yourself through the first couple rounds because that's the toughest part. Don't worry about finishing the game because you're not trying to finish the game. You're trying to do the apocalypse. That's at least this is what I'm. This may not be the greatest, thing. I'm not trying to say that I'm the pro at this. I'm just saying this is this is my rationale, my thought process behind this. So, my idea was I was going for the apocalypse. So I needed all 4 of these, right, to make the apocalypse. And then what I was doing was, now I realize I could have probably done this booster pack to get some. But to be honest with you, putting all 4 of these together and then getting the apocalypse gets expensive. So it's not worth doing dumb shit like this or doing things like these because it gets expensive, really fast. So don't do anything but what you want. So my ideology was get all 4 of these to make the apocalypse. Don't combine them until you're ready to go to the next round. Get the beach hotel because beach hotel is important for sure. So get yourself the property certificate and the sardines. Get yourself, the trumpet's nice, but no, don't get yourself a trumpet because you can't get a trumpet. And the reason I did the yellow phone calls is because I wanted this trumpet. And then somebody came into the chat and told me you didn't even need the trumpet you could get off of these cards, which I just did, which I've been trying forever. I've combined those probably 40 times and haven't gotten it until now. So you just saw like the amazing moment that it actually worked out. When so what I did was I got this guy, the old one sigil, which he ups the symbol multiplier every time that symbol shows up. It says a 13% chance for a symbol to have that modifier. So that guy ups your score by quite a bit, right? He'll help you get enough coins to get to the next round, to the point where you can afford to do these surgeries and get enough red phone calls to where you can get the bone parts for these. So the deal with these and the problem with these, and I don't know if you've done these yet, they're a pain in the ass because every corpse part, and this is what sucks about this game, man. This is one thing that drives me nuts about this surgery machine thing that they added. Every corpse part is different. So you can't just use any corpse part for any of these. The corpse pieces are all different. So you get one corpse part and you'll see, so you see the weird clock is in the green right now because I have that green clock. You get a corpse part and let's say, I rolled a 666 and I got one. It may be this one and it will only work for the Ankh, or it will only work for the cross or something like that. So that's why it's very difficult and that's why I don't hold any of these up here. I just say, screw these. I'm not going to do them. I'm just going to, put them in the drawers and, roll as many 666 as I can. And every time you see like the weird clock, you see the evil deal. Like the evil deal is a hard one because you need a ticket generator for it. So you need a lot of tickets to buy that. That's like 50 tickets or something like that. But every time you see the weird clock, evil deal, the Ankh. So your goal here is to collect the cross, the Ankh, the evil deal, and the weird clock. And when you get the right corpse part for that thing, hit the combine and get this thing. And usually throw it in a drawer because most of these are junk. I'm using one of them. I'm using this resurrection one for the pattern I got, but otherwise they're pretty much junk. Anyway, you can also get them through the booster pack, but again, I wouldn't waste the booster pack on that because every time you do a combine, it increases the amount of money you need to do the next combine. So it gets pretty expensive because you're going to do all 4 of these combines, plus you're going to do this. That's 5th combine right there. So that is going to push you up. I forget what it pushed you up to, but it was quite a bit. It was expensive to get that done. I think I had to play it around like 10 or something like that, if I remember right. I could be wrong, but I think. Okay, so what I did was, like I said, once you stabilize, you need a ticket generator, obviously. So like if you're running, sevens or whatever, you need something that's going to give you tickets. So let's see. Um, although I'll tell you this, man, like if you can get this at the end of every round, double your coins and clover tickets, and at the end of the deadline, it sets them to 0. This thing will double your tickets. This will make it so but the problem with this one is it takes the evil deal. Evil deal is the expensive one, and that's one you're going to need the tickets for to get. So that may not be a great pattern. But like when you start off a new round, like I said, get yourself something that'll stabilize you. Usually stuff like the coins will kind of get you through, a couple rounds at least. I like to get the star also. Where is it? Where's the star at? It's really stupid. I never use this damn thing. But if you can get this in like the first round or the second round, this thing actually does pretty good work. Uh, to just kind of get you up through a couple rounds there. Um, it's not bad. Uh, but yeah, so you get yourself something like that that'll just get you. It'll make you survive to a point. Every time you see a clover voucher, grab it because you need those. If you see a clover field and you can afford it, put it up on your board because you're going to be selling all this crap anyway. You don't need it. So the clover field is kind of cool. It costs 3 as long as it's not modified, which means you only got to hold it up for 2 rounds, I believe, because if it costs 3 to buy, it's only 1 to sell. So if you keep it up for 2 rounds, it's going to be worth 3. You're going to get your money back, and it's going to increase the price of everything else on the board. So that's another way to get tickets, kind of a cheap way to get tickets. And then, of course, you have the dolls. Like I said, I wouldn't worry about the Baphomet until you're settled. Baphomet would be, for me, it was round 2. I started dealing with him round 2. And you do want a phone pretty quick, as quick as you can actually get it and stay stable and survive, the rounds. But so here's your ticket guy. If you can get this guy, the Raging Capitalist, and he's not bad. It's 3% chance, raises 1% every time you buy a lucky charm. So if you get one of the other tricks to this that I've found is you buy him, and it works really well once you get to the point where you're stabilized. But you get him, and I do this all the time. I try to do this all the time with all my rounds. You get the credit card. So you get him and you get the credit card. So the credit card makes everything cost 1 less. So if you can get like things like, say, the fortune cookie costs 1, with the credit card, it costs 0, and you can boost that guy all the way up to 25 pretty quickly. Sardine can cost 1. You'll boost him up really super fast. And I mean, it even counts for things like the crowbar, which gives you the restocks, the dollar bills that give you the whatever. So that's one of the things I like to use a lot. All right, so the Clover voucher, so that'll up him also. So if you can get a guy with tickets and start getting tickets, generating tickets really fast, that's good, because the evil deal costs 50 unmodified. Usually it comes out modified, so it's usually 51 or something, but you want that. You got to buy it. You got to buy it too if you're going to do the run I did. And like I said, you don't even have to do what I did. You could probably get away without doing what I did. I'm sure you can. In fact, I pretty much know you can. You don't have to go through all this madness that I'm telling you about right now. You could probably just get away without doing all this. The reason I did this is because my original intent was to start collecting these red charms. And the red charms, the only way you can get these red charms along with the yellow charms, or the, whatever you call it, the holy charms and the evil charms. The only way to get those together is to run a apocalypse run. And so my original idea was kind of to run both, but it didn't really work out that way. I got rid of all these. I had a bunch of them, got rid of them. Didn't turn out to be all that useful. Um, anyway, so that's what I did. I did Apocalypse Run. I got this old one sigil in the first run. I got this Mad Emperor in the first run, and I got the Bullet Train in the first one, and I carried them over. So it was the Beach Hotel and the old one sigil, the Bullet Train, and the Mad Emperor. And I think that, oh no, and then the first place trophy. I do like the first place trophy because it helps you get through those early rounds, because it increases everything pretty quickly in the early rounds, and then later it just becomes kind of pointless once you start doubling things and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. The rest of these are junk. I don't find any of them useful. I mean, the platinum record probably be okay for early rounds, but it's like, I don't care. But yeah, so those were what I was going for: the first place trophy, the Mad Emperor, the Bullet Train, and the old one sigil. And once I had all those, and then the Beach Hotel. And once I had all those, you do Apocalypse. Now the problem with Apocalypse is, like, right now I have 16 slots for charms. That goes bye-bye, right? Except for the slots that are created by the Beach Hotel. But it goes back down to what, 8? I think the original is 8. 8 slots. So if you have 9 things up here and you only have 8 slots available on your next round, it's going to eat one of those. And I've screwed up rounds doing that, and had to restart them because of that. So you need to make sure that you only have the ones you want, the 8 you want. I think with me, I had the Mad Emperor, I had the old sigil, I had that trophy I showed you, and then I think I also had this phone. I think I carried the phone over. And that's really all I had when I started this round. But again, it's pretty easy to get through the first couple rounds with just that, because this guy, he increases your symbol multiplier, pretty quickly and easily. And the Mad Emperor, he triggers, because at that point you're going to have 50%. So as long as you can get a couple of as long as you can get something that'll give you some matches up here, maybe a picture frame or something to get this up to 40%, 50%, or whatever, or even like a horse that'll give you an automatic jackpot. It's going to give you enough to get through the first 5-6 rounds. It's not going to be a big deal. Anyway, so with this round here, what I'm doing, and the way I'm doing this is and the whole idea behind this is, I'm rolling the 666s, and I have the Eye of God, which the Eye of God comes from a yellow phone call. So when I started this round, what I was going for was these. Basically, I needed the Phantom wheels to get this going. I wanted this heart, for the button charges. The Phantom wheels, I have 541 jackpots accumulated, so everything is a jackpot. Everything that I roll, it's either a 666 or it's a jackpot. And that's because the phone, obviously, triggering that like crazy. The Eye of God is good because whenever you roll an eye pattern, so that way, even when, because the basic idea behind this is your coins are doubling every single time. So if, let's say, the next spin I get a 1.3, which is my current score, it's not going to be that, but it's actually be like 6 point something at a E1050 would be probably the next score. And then once you hit the second 999 pattern, it's going to double that. So it's a consistent loop of doubling, and that's kind of the point here. So the reason I wanted this, and the reason this is I think important, is because even when you don't actually roll a 999, you're still getting the benefit of the 999, because anytime you roll the I pattern, you're getting all the coins earned from the 999. So it's doubling even when you're not rolling a 999. It's giving you the exact same benefit. That's what that's the Eye of God is for. With the Phantom Wheel, basically every time you roll, you only have two options. You're either going to roll a 999 or you're going to roll a jackpot until you deplete this thing, which does not seem to be getting depleted at all. In fact, it's only increasing, right? So it's at 541. So I got 541 jackpots just stored up. So I'm rolling jackpots pretty much forever at this point. So that's how that works. That's the basics behind this. Is you're just basically you're rolling the cell phone and getting the 666s. The problem is that I'm having with this pattern, and it's frustrating, is on the first spin, if you roll a 666, it gives you 0. So you need to roll a pattern. You need to roll jackpot before you start hitting the button, because the way the mechanic works is the 666, the 999s give you, instead of taking it away, because they're the nines, they give you all of the money you just earned. So because you're getting the eye pattern is giving you the 999s from every 999 you've scored from every run. You want a jackpot to start with. You want to start you want to get a jackpot before you start hitting the button and getting the 999s. Once you get the jackpot, you have a base set of, let's say my next jackpot is going to be a E, you know, 1051, 1.3 E 1051 um, on the next jackpot due to the eye pattern hitting. I'm going to hit the button twice, and let's say it only goes well. I'm going to hit the button once, and let's say it does twice. That means that I'm going to get the first 999 is now going to be 2.6 E1051. The second one is going to be 4 point, well, it's going to be 5.2 at E1051, and it's going to increase incrementally all the time. And it's just going to continue. It's a continuous process. So that's why these are the most important things that I have up here: the Phantom Wheels, Sacred Heart, the Eye of God, and of course the phone. You can do this with any card. It doesn't really matter, I don't think, what card you're doing this with. I mean, there may be some card up here that may get screwball, um, with the 666s. But as long as you just have a pretty standard card, that's always going to work for you. Now, the other mechanic here is increasing your rounds. Now, this is kind of screwed up because, I mean, I don't know if the developers meant it this way or they didn't, but I don't even need that Jimbo anymore. What I need is I need the Virago. Okay, there it is. So this is what's happening with the Virago is because I got this resurrection. Now I got the resurrection because of I put all the bones up here. So theoretically, you shouldn't be able to get the resurrection yet. I got it through this booster pack because I was doing the booster pack, and it was an accident. I didn't even understand that this was going to work in the way that it did until I did it. I was trying to get this trumpet through the booster packs, which I just got. You just saw me do it, which is amazing and awesome because this is going to be a crazy run from here on out. I was doing booster packs trying to get that trumpet. One of the things the booster pack gave me, and it gave me a lot of these different posters or whatever they are. It gave me this resurrection, right? So what this does, charms disappear during the round will appear in the next restock at the store, except the weird clock. Only works for charms that can spawn in the store. So that means every time I get rid of this Virago, Oh, I didn't put it up yet. Can I put it up? No, I can't. I can't until I get rid of something, but that's absolutely fine. We can probably get rid of... I don't know if I want to get rid of that, dude, because I'm going to get rid of this, I think. I think I'm going to get rid of this. Yeah. So see what that just did? That just triggered the resurrection. And so the way that works is now when I restock, there it is again. It shows back up. Same thing with the Virago, which is crazy because now if I do the clock, and the clock, obviously it burns out after 5+ times hitting it, which with what I got now, it's gonna be insanity. Let's just shit. Hold on a sec. Hey, can I call you back in like 10 minutes? Yeah. Okay, all right, bye. Sorry, man. Guess someone wants to talk. But okay, so where was I? Let's put the cat toy in the drawer. And I'll spin just to kind of show how this, how stupid this is. We'll see how stupid it's going to be. I don't know if these actually work together. I've never had all of this combination before. But basically, we're going to burn the clock out. The clock is going to go, oh, we got to get rid of this. We have to get rid of that. The reason we got to get rid of that is because that is also going to get destroyed. And if the clock doesn't end up in this Virago, I'm going to have to restart the round. And that would be a huge, huge, huge mistake. So let's put this back up. Put that back up. Okay, there we go. So now, basically what's about to happen is this clock is going to burn out. When that clock burns out, it's going to go into the Virago. And we're going to be able to then get rid of the Virago, bring the clock back out, and the Virago is going to end up in the store automatically on the next round. And we can just repeat that process over and over and over. So I'll show you how this works, because it shouldn't be too hard to get this going. So again, I want to roll. I don't want to roll that. I don't want that, because watch, it'll give me 0. It gives me 0 because it hasn't taken anything this round yet. I haven't made anything this round yet. So I need to make some money. And of course, every time I do this, it stores another future jackpot. Okay, so the cat just helped me out there. That's cool. Okay, so the cat's giving me turns. That's kind of a good thing. Because look, dude, like this is what's driving me absolutely bonkers with this run. Is I only have a 4.2% chance of a 666, and I've just rolled it 6 times in a row. How does that happen? I don't understand the math there, but I've rolled it 10 times in a row at one point, and it's just so frustrating because it just ruins your whole, round. But this is what we wanted right here. And so you'll see, and this is just the mechanics of how it's working, you'll see that we're going to get, it's like going to be so 1.2151, right? Now we're going to hit this button, and we'll see what happens, dude. I'm interested. Ready? Here we go. And we get to hit it again because of the heart. And so there goes the clock. Now the clock just went to the Virago, so we can get the clock back. We just hit that phone 10 times, bro. 15 times, dude. 15. What the? 19 times, dude. The phone's gonna hit 19 times now. 22 times. Holy shitballs. That is insane. That is insane. So see, 1 point, it's going to double that now. So that was 1.2 or something like that. Now it's going to be 2.4151, right? Okay, now it's going to end up with 4.9, I think, because it was 2.47, I think. So 4.9, right? At 151 or whatever. Now it's going to be I don't know, 9 point something. Yeah, 9.8. Right? So that just doubles every single time. Every single time. That's what we're doing. We're just doubling our score every single time. And that's how this operates. That's exactly how this operates. Which is crazy because, like, the cat's no longer activating. I don't know why that's not happening. Because I was thinking I would end up on an endless loop with the cat just constantly activating due to, but I guess maybe the cat only activates once around. I don't know. I was hoping we get a consistent loop here of just stupidity and madness. But anyway, so that's the basic idea of how that operates. Right now, the weird clock is stuck in here. Right now, we just got 6 extra rounds off that weird clock. So now all we got to do is get rid of this. We throw this away, and the weird clock's back, and it's charged up. Due to this right here, the resurrection, that Virago is right here. We just pick it right back up again, and we just keep going. And that's basically how this, the simplicity of how I'm doing this at this point. That's once you get everything set up, it's simple like that. So anyway, this is just whatever. This gives you extra spins. Book shadows. Don't really have to go too much into that. Not a big deal. Obviously the beach hotel's pretty self-explanatory. I just explained what the resurrection does. The glorious trumpet obviously gives you a bunch more triggers on that red button. It's insane. This is kind of pointless. I just put this up there to get the Mad Emperor up. The reason I have the Mad Emperor up is because he's the reason you're getting the battery symbols in the middle of the round. He starts at a 30% chance for any symbol modifier. I think it's 30, might be 20. I don't know, because I do have a couple things up here that are surgery related. Because it increases 10% by every surgery thing you have on the table. But he's the reason that you're seeing battery symbols show up in the middle of the rounds, which is why I have him up, because I am running 7s. I'm not running now if I was running bells and clovers, probably wouldn't need him, but I do need him because I want those batteries to line up. This thing is like a lifesaver because your whole pattern is based around 666s and rolling those over and over and over and over again. And that's the reason I have 4,490 respins in the shop. That's the reason I can just respin the shop whenever I want. In the lower rounds, that kind of meant something to me because I had the recharger up here for to recharge everything, and I was doing it that way. And I love having that recharger up. That thing just puts in a ton of work for me normally. Let me see if I can find it though. Because I haven't seen it in the shop in a while, and I'm wondering if it's banned. I actually was going to go through this and see if it's banned for me, because I haven't seen it in a while. Where is it? It's got to be in here. There it is. So the electricity meter, I was using this to recharge, right? So now obviously I don't need a lot of charges for anything on my table, but this here, you're going to hit this a lot. You're going to keep this on the board on the table, which I don't have anymore, but you're going to use this a lot to recharge your phone, your whatever you have on the needs charges, like even the clock from time to time, which normally I don't recharge the clock because I just wait for the battery symbols to show up. I just recharge phone and go, recharge phone and go, and just keep recharging the phone is the way I was doing it. And I would get enough batteries to where it didn't matter. I'd always stay positive on the turns. I'd always have a net positive on the turns. So that's how that was working, and that's why I wanted the massive amount of restocks because I was using those like crazy. Now the other problem you have with the restocks is if you don't have this resurrection, and I didn't in the beginning, then obviously this is not going to respawn the shop every time you get rid of it, on the next respin. So you may end up respinning this thing hundreds of times trying to get another Virago to show up. And then we had that glitch where I don't know why that happened, and the resurrection didn't work, didn't respawn the Virago. I think it had to do with that coin though, because that coin, this thing's very glitchy. Um, and I had to respin this a whole crap ton of times. So there's that. Um, that's part of that. Now, the other thing I would do that I did when I started this round, that I would always do, with pretty much any round that I was serious about doing, is I would take. So you have the cardboard house, right? Cardboard house is um, pretty much a must for any kind of serious run because it just, it gives you the one more lucky charm on the table, right? It gives you one more space on the table. Um, Never take that until you have it's this one, I believe, the Abyssu. Yeah. So even if you see the box show up first, I wouldn't take it. I don't take it until I have this in my inventory, and then once I have this on the table, and then throughout the respins, I see the cardboard house, I take it, and that's how that works for me. And so that way you get two instead of just the one space because this thing never shows up again. It's just one and done. When it comes to the phone, it's a white phone call. Yeah, it's a white phone call that gives you the extra space. So make sure when you're ready to do the white phone call to give you the extra spaces um, on the table, have the bathroom up, and then have the megaphone up. Which I don't know where the megaphone's at on this list here, but make sure you have the bathroom and the megaphone. And I'm not sure there's a screw mechanic to that, so I'm not sure exactly how that works. I think you can actually have the bathroom, and then as long as you destroy the bathroom with the charge in it, and you have the megaphone up, I think you get the benefit of it. I don't think the megaphone triggers until you get rid of that brat, but I don't know for sure. I have the megaphone up and I have the bathroom up on the table when I do that phone call, and that's a white phone call that gives you the plus one space on the table. That way you get the maximum amount of spaces on the table. I think it only gives you three though, for that, if I remember right. I could be wrong about that, but um, not doing the math in my head right now. But that's basically it, man. That's basically how this operates. I know people say get the eye jar, which would work, but it doesn't really matter because basically, like I said, right now, um, everything is scoring seven. So yeah, technically this would give me an eye pattern every three spins. But bro, if I mean, I'm also getting the 666s, which would kind of negate this anyway. But this is pointless to me the way I'm running this. It's not pointless to other people who are running it with this going on, but the way I'm running it, it's pointless because it's always a jackpot. It's always a jackpot. So I get an eye pattern automatically anyway. It doesn't matter to me at all. Period. Um, that's about it, man. I mean, that's all I could really say, dude. Like, um, you don't have to do things the way I did it. I don't think. I don't think I did this as efficiently as I could have to get to this point. But now that I'm at this point, I think this is about as good as it's going to get for me right now for this run. Um, and that's kind of it, man. That's kind of the breakdown. I would start a run. Um, let's see. Do you need these? Yeah, you don't really need to. To be completely honest, you could do this without doing an apocalypse run. I just did it because I was like, I want to start with this dude. I want to start with this thing. Um, and just go for it, And then I wanted to start with some of the evil ones, which I did. I think I did. I think I started with a couple of those. I got rid of them real quick because it's like, nah, they're not going to matter for the overall pattern. Oh, and then the other phone call that I took that was important was the one that was a yellow phone call, and I believe it only gives it to you once. So you got to be careful when you do it. You got to make sure you have the bathroom, the megaphone up, and you have everything in your inventory you want, or everything on the board that you want it to affect. Um, so this thing normally has 4 charges to trigger it. This one normally has 3 charges to trigger it. This has like, I don't know, 10 or 12 or some crazy shit like that to trigger it, which is crazy because it carries over even when this thing gets destroyed, which is amazing. Um, this thing usually has 5, I believe, charges to trigger it. They're all down to 1 now. The reason they're down to 1 is because I did the bathroom, I did the megaphone when I answered the yellow phone call, and I rolled until I got the one that limited the charges on these things. And I believe, I'm not positive, but I believe that only happens once. So you got to be careful when you do it. You got to have everything you want up on this board when you hit that damn thing, which is why, this jar, even though I don't use it, I haven't gotten rid of it because I'm afraid, and I don't know if the mechanic works this way, but I'm afraid if I throw this away and I buy it back in the shop, it's going to have 5 charges on it again. And I don't want that because I'm like, maybe in the future I'll need it. I don't know. Um, but that's how that works, right? So, basically, that's kind of what I'm doing. Trying to think what I did in the early rounds. Like the early rounds, by round 4, I was pretty much done on this one. Like I had everything I needed. The only thing that I still needed was these, but I had the clock, right? And so basically, I got stuck on the loop where I had a million fucking rounds up here. So by round 4, it was pretty much over. By deadline 4, um, I was at E30 something, I think, by round 4, and I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, that's going to carry you through all the way to deadline 17 or something. So it didn't matter. So you're good on money. You could just kind of play around, do whatever the hell you wanted to do um, at that point. And so the game was kind of over. And so all I was aiming for was getting these from the yellow phone call. And when I did the yellow phone calls, I made sure I had the bathroom up, I had the trumpet up, or the megaphone up, so that I had 2 of these spawning every time. And well, it was 4 of them spawning every single time. So until I got the ones that I wanted, and I was kind of lucky to get the ones that I wanted. And I guess one more warning I'll give you is I've had this game to the point where I've rolled these things so much that they stopped showing up on yellow phone calls. So make sure when you do these, because I don't know if there's like a limit to how many times you can actually get the sacred charms on the yellow phone call. Make sure you got the megaphone. Make sure you got the bathroom. Make sure you're maxing that out because like I said, I've done it to where I've re-rolled and re-rolled and re-rolled on that yellow phone call, and the damn sacred charms never show up again for me. And again, I don't think I think the when you do the one that limits the amount of charges, I think that's also a one and done. I think once you get that, it's done. But I think that's it. I think that's about it. Hopefully, it helps you. Like I said, um, this runs a little strange because you don't need the cat food normally, but I would always try and take this ritual bell. I would try to get this dude, this Mad Emperor, as fast as possible. I'd try to get the beach house as fast as possible, beach hotel as fast as possible. I said this is something. Yeah, I was lucky to get, and I mean, I don't think I'm going to spend any more today. You know, because I do have to answer that. I have to call somebody back here, um, but otherwise, I think all this is like necessary. Like this is obviously necessary. The phone, I think, is necessary. Luckily, it's down to 1 charge, so it's cool. It charges between every round. That's awesome. This Book of Shadows, because of the card I'm playing, it is a necessity because my rounds only have 1 spin, 3 spins with the cat food. Because of that, this is a necessity. I think it'd probably be good to have this no matter what you're doing. If you're doing a 666 build like this, the Virago is a necessity. Explained how that operates. I think the nuclear button is good to have. I mean, it's just it may not even be a necessity. It's just amazing to have, and it totally just makes this phone go off the hook. So the Phantom Wheels is a necessity for this the build that I'm running because I need those jackpots. And I need those jackpots for this Eye of God to trigger. The Sacred Heart, probably not necessarily a necessity, but it's really super nice to have, man, along with this nuclear button. It's super nice. Even the trumpet, those 3 together are just amazing. I didn't even know you could have those 3 together until someone came in the comments and said that. But thank God they did, man, because I was getting ready to, put all these together, because to make that you have to put the nuclear button, the Sacred Heart, and a horseshoe together, and it makes that. But somebody told me you could have all of them at the same time, so that's awesome. Resurrection, I showed how that worked. To me, it's kind of a huge bonus to have that right now, so I don't have to re-roll a bunch of times in the shop to get that Virago back every time. This is junk. Don't really need it. Don't care. It is kind of giving me extra spins, so that's kind of cool. But on a normal round, I probably wouldn't even bother with it. I didn't even bother with it until recently. The 7 picture, I'm using 7 picture because in the early rounds, it's kind of tough to get the. Well, I take it back. Nowadays, now I have it to where I'm just doing jackpots. So the 7 picture is probably pointless, but it is what it is. I like to get the numbers up here. I want to see if I can get this to 100% because I've never done it. I've hit this thing to where it had 1,300, I think. That's the most I've had that. So, and it still hasn't been 100%. It's been at 99.8%, I think. I think it's the highest I've gotten it. I don't know. But that's it. That's what we got going on here. And let's see. Do I have everything? Yeah. You know what? Let's do one more round. And then, like I said, I gotta call that person back because, yeah, being rude. They're gonna be mad because I told them to call me, so it's like they're not gonna be happy about me ignoring the phone. And normally, bro, I don't have anybody in here to explain stuff to, so usually I can kind of talk on the phone and play this at the same time. And I just don't want to be I don't want to be rude to you and to the person calling. Because I do appreciate you being here. Oh yeah, and then the Baphomet, I would get that probably whenever you feel comfortable. Whenever you get to that point where you can, room on the table, and you can just do it. I wouldn't do it early. I would just do it whenever you know. See, look at that, man. I've just rolled 666s without hitting the button. How many times now? Like 8 times at a 4.2%. What is wrong with the math here? What is up with the math here? This is so broken. And I haven't gotten any money out of this one at all. What is wrong here? And I got like 15 spins because the cat just keeps giving me spins. Like it's going to be a non-stop spin fest with this cat. I'll bet you if I hit the button, it'll stop giving me the 999s. Watch. Oh, there we go. There we go. Now we're talking. Now, I may have been wrong about that little cat toy. That cat toy seems like it's putting in some work right now, dude. That thing just really kind of upped the game right there, man. Saved me from having a useless round to having 17 spins left and having a button to push, man. That's insane. Okay, so we got 13 spins with the phone. And honestly, normally that's what you want. You want the 999s, man, because rolling a jackpot is you have to go through the graphics of. I mean, I know it's kind of fancy and flashy, but you got to go through the graphics of it tallying up every single symbol. So the cat must just trigger once, dude. Which is kind of cool, man, because every time I get unlucky like that and I roll a bunch of sixes and start the round off with, it gives me a bunch of free spins. So that's kind of cool. Like, I'm supposed to only have one spin on this one. I think it got all the way up to like 17 or something. That was not including the 8 spins in the beginning that were giving me the 999. So that's kind of cool. So this is huge. Yeah, because like I said, it's doubling each time. So this is a good round, right? Because it takes what, like 3, 2, 4, 8. Yeah, it takes like 4 to get through each, you know, level of E10 whatever. Right, because it's got to go 1 point whatever to 3 point whatever to 6 point whatever to the next round. So it's about, yeah, 3 or 4. Wow, lemons, dude, at a 0.1%. All right. The math is not mathing, but that's, you know, due to the fact that we have, you know, Phantom Wheel. And that I found out through testing this, it only triggers once. So even if I did the jar, which is why I did the jar originally, so even if you score like 5 eye patterns, you only get the benefit of the eye of God once for that that particular spin. So it's only gonna multiply it once instead of 5 times. Which that was my original idea, was to just, you know, go crazy on that and, you know, have it just, you know, trigger 25 times in a round and just go nuts. But no, it doesn't work that way. So hopefully I helped you. And I mean, I know it's a lot of information I just went through, and I probably didn't do it in the most, like, the easiest way to explain it, because I'm probably not the greatest at explaining it. But like, just a heads up, like, if you want, and you want to like try and copy this like verbatim or whatever, or want to go back on it, you can always go on. I have the YouTube channel Pork Fungus, which nobody watched these videos, but if you want to go back and just watch the last video, which will be this one once it uploads, put the weird clock back up there, put this in a drawer, get the Virago back up, and then put this back up there. Okay, cool. So yeah, but if you want to, you can just go back and look at that, look at this this stream here, and then just travel back. I think I've been talking for about maybe half an hour about this, so you can always do that. But with that, I think I'm out of here. Like I said, I gotta make that phone call, and I'll talk to you later, man. Thanks for coming around. Have a good day, man, or good night. What's left of it out there.